This is hard.
Yeah. Should we stop?
Hello.
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 Welcome back to another video podcast. This is Misa.
And this is Yuka.
And welcome to the
Misa
Yuka
podcast.
So we were just doing this in Japanese, and it was the hardest thing for us. So let us just do this in English. Are you better at expressing yourself in English?
I don't know.
I don't know, but
I feel like that episode was not supposed to be in Japanese. I was listening to myself and I'm like, this doesn't sound right.
Yuka, I was listening to yourself. I was listening to you, and Yuka didn't sound like Yuka. Maybe I'll have a clip of her right now. She sounds so uncomfortable.
I was so uncomfortable.
Yeah, anyway, so welcome back. Thank you for subscribe. If you are new here, we're two sisters born in Japan, born in Japan, raised in the States, now living in Japan. So we go back and forth. And on this podcast, we talk about random stuff that we relate to each week, and we hope you relate to as well. I'm so good at that intro now.
I know.
Do you know why? Because I practiced it in the shower.
It's so funny. I can just hear you.
I'm welcome back to another video podcast. This is Misa.
I love how you mumble my part.
Yeah, I mumble your part.
So what are we talking about today?
So today, we have nothing to show you guys. We don't have the show and tell section because we forgot. Yeah, that happens too.
Yeah, we can scramble around the house.
Nothing to show, but I guess I can show my Laneige. The lips.
Oh wait, show us your lip combo.
My lip combo is my Laneige, and then I think I've shown it through on Instagram stories. But I also don't have my I lost
you use
my
the Laka now?
No, today I use the Laka.
The Laka.
Yeah, but I usually have my MAC lip liner and my strawberry Laneige, and I definitely love the Patrick Ta lip plumper, which is not sold in Japan. So whenever I go back to the States, I have to buy it, or I have to ask parents to buy it for me and bring it overseas.
So Patrick Ta actually released the tinted version.
Wow. Oh, you have Patrick Ta too.
This is Patrick Ta.
Wow, I love
his
his
tinted, and that one's
this
the
is
original
the lip plumper. Yeah.
The lip. But this also has the lip plumping effects, so it tingles as well.
Really?
Yeah. But this has color, and they released a whole color series, and I just bought that one instead.
I just love how Patrick Ta lip plumper is very viscous. Do you know it's doro shiteru. It's so viscous, and we don't really have such viscous very thick
that's true
lip gloss in Japan. Everything's really thin except for some Korean stuff, but I feel Japanese lip gloss, it's not so thick. You know, so that's why it really
dries out really fast.
Yeah, but Patrick Ta is it's so gooey, and it's very thick, and it really plumps your lips,
yeah,
you know. Isn't it nice? It looks really cute, and also this color is perfect for me. Yuka wears the darker one, but for me, I like the lighter.
Right.
Cherry.
Remember when you put this on and it looked?
I looked
really
so bad. I feel something lighter, pink and lighter, is really nice. And for you,
darker.
Yeah. We need to really do the skin thing.
The skin color.
Skin color.
What is that called?
Personal color testing in Korea. So we're gonna be going to Korea soon. So super excited. Be excited for the vlogs too. Yay! Well, anyways, today what are we talking about?
We're talking about change, because change in environments.
Yeah, change in environments, because it's April, and April, this week is when everyone starts a new company, new work. The fiscal year just ended, so like first quarter, Q1 starts
Yeah.
this month. And I think it's just like, well, like people change departments. Like Yuka's changed departments. People change jobs. Did I just say that already?
Yeah, people change jobs. People
start new jobs.
Maybe go overseas to, for college.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, college start or like school starts this
school
month.
starts.
So if you're doing school, which is always fun, like everything is new, right?
Everything's
the cherry blossoms are blooming.
They're
they
blooming a lot?
They're blooming a lot finally, and they only bloom for like a week. So right,
I know. Now they're all like
they're all
gonna they're all
chiru. Like they all kind of say goodbye after
they're
bloom.
all falling apart.
Yeah.
Like they bloom and then they fall apart.
Yeah.
So
anyways,
that's exciting.
Yeah, that's exciting. So we're gonna be like talking about like change, and
if you think about it in this way, like nature always changes, and they're so accepting.
Yeah,
which is so great.
Yeah,
like cherry blossoms, they like bloom and they're like shining, and then they like fall apart.
Yeah,
and they're totally okay with it.
And so we want to talk about this because like I have a really difficult time dealing with change. And Yuka doesn't. Yuka's really okay with like she's very okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're like pretty good with change, but I think I did like a whole video on I hate change when I started when I moved into this beautiful house, right? Like now I'm okay after like a few months. I'm like now used to it, living alone and stuff, but like every time I, went from elementary school to middle school or like middle school to high school to college, I was very excited. And college to work, super excited. I was like, in Japan and stuff. Like adjusting to Japan was super easy for me.
Adjusting to Japan? Are you sure?
Adjusting to Japan, like when I first came to Japan, I think I was so excited. I was like in this new country by myself. I mean, I had, my older sister and stuff, but I was living alone and I was figuring stuff out by myself. Super exciting.
Right.
But then work was a little bit like, it got not so exciting after a few months. But I was pretty excited for like, from college to work environment.
That's exciting.
Right?
Yeah.
Was it exciting for you? Was it the same for
exciting.
you?
It's exciting.
Like working in Japan and stuff?
Yeah, until you go to work.
Yeah, the idea of working in Japan is very exciting.
Yeah.
Until you actually work in Japan.
Until you're actually doing that.
Yeah. Until you're actually doing that,
it really depends though.
Yeah. I think if you are, because we were raised in the States, right? So I went into a very Japanese company, but it was a still kind of international department, right? Like we were praised when we were able to speak English and stuff, but still, it was a pretty domestic company. So I think it was hard. But a lot of my friends who were working for a foreign company, like consulting companies, like the big fours, I think they were chill. Like they were having a good time like the GAFAs, like.
Yeah. I mean, it's really busy.
Yeah, super busy. But like, I think the language barrier, isn't really there. So as
long as there's no language barrier in the company, I feel like there's a high possibility of you having a fun time.
Yeah. I feel like
fitting that culture. I think culture is like such a big thing.
Yes.
Work culture.
Yeah. So did you have a hard time adjusting to
work culture?
Work culture in Japan?
Yeah. Actually, this company that I'm like currently in, I actually had a really hard time adjusting.
Yeah.
But then I feel like I just kept it in. I only showed 1% of myself.
Oh, that must be
maybe
really
1
hard.
to 10%. But like,
it must be kind of hard.
But then, I think because it was just like, I don't know, I just didn't feel like it, and also even if I did, they wouldn't understand.
Oh,
it was that kind of culture.
Interesting.
Like they're like, like I think it was like everything was like a mismatch. Like our tsubo, warai no tsubo.
Right, like your humor.
Like yeah, the humors, like
humor points.
Humor points or like life stages didn't match, and I was like just showing 1 to 10% of myself for what, like 8 months. But then what I realized is I never knew that work culture was like such a big thing to prioritize. I thought it was like I can get along with anyone type of person.
Oh.
Like
I don't think you can get along with everyone.
No, I think I can get along with anyone superficially.
That's not
like
if you're
like
Yuka's
surface
friend.
level. Surface level, I can get along with anyone. I can put,
right.
Like anyone can do that. Like you can put a smile on your face and get along with anyone.
Right.
Right? Right?
I think so, but like getting along isn't like, for me, it's not really superficial. Like I need to get along.
What do you mean?
Like I need to actually, like, not superficially, but like actually like the person, and they need to like me. For me, that's getting along.
Oh yeah, that happens, because if you're still surface level, that can happen.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, at the end, I like definitely choose if I want to move forward being friends. But I don't think you 100% need a friend at work.
Right.
Like outside of your private life or outside of your work life.
Right.
Like that person doesn't have to be your friend in your private life.
Right.
Yeah. So I think I can get along with anyone.
Right. Okay.
Thank you. So what do you think is important in trying to adjust to that new culture? Like work related.
For me? For me, it's like accepting.
Accepting? Accepting what?
Accepting the work culture is very important for me.
The environment or the work? I mean, I guess
just like everything, like the people, like all the, for like my thing is like I accept everything like a sponge. So I try to take in everything, like what people are doing, how people are doing it. Like I don't really say like, oh, this is not the way it should be done from the very beginning. Like right off the bat, I'm not like that. I try to accept everything as like what it is as an organization, or like what kind of people are there. Like I like literally a people pleaser, and I don't know if this is the right thing, but yeah, I try to like just try to soak myself in to that culture as much as possible. And then from there, I feel it out. And then I'm like, do you think like if I'm trying too hard, if I am not being myself, if I like feel like, yeah, I'm like, if I'm trying too hard, from there I adjust and be like, okay, maybe I don't like this part about it, or I don't really like this person because of that, or like, oh, this is,
and then you just sort it out.
I sort it out from there. But I'm not like the person who goes like, oh, I don't like it from the very beginning. And I try to learn everything and be soaked into that culture as much as possible.
I think most people are like that too.
Yeah.
They're not like right off the bat, they come in, I don't like it.
I feel like you would do that. No?
No. Hence, I haven't left the company yet.
That's good. But yeah. I feel like that's how I kind of like try to, because then you won't know. Right? And then I like being, I mean, I don't know if I like being in an organization or not, but being in an organization, being part of something bigger than yourself has a lot of benefits too.
Well, like what?
I mean, like, you learn a lot from other people, right? Because if you're just working by yourself, if you're just like always alone, you don't really learn much. I feel like when you're freelancing or whatever, like working on your own, being your own boss, I think like they have like a mission on their own. But if you don't really have like a mission, or like if you don't really know what you want to do in the beginning, I think like it's really good to be like part of something,
right?
So that you learn from others, right? Yeah, because like when I first started my like working at the company, my former company, I didn't know what I wanted to do.
Yeah. You didn't know.
I don't know. Did you?
What?
Like, were you like, oh, I want to do this in this company?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I didn't know.
Okay, so you know how Japan has like this thing called like general position?
Yeah. The
Sogo
Sogo. Yeah.
I was like absolutely determined to not get into that.
Wow.
Like I needed to have a specialized, specific role, or else I knew I would hate it.
Oh, interesting.
Like I don't. So I signed up to as like a UX designer position. Like I looked only for that.
Right. For me, since I didn't know what I wanted to do, I was this like, in school, because in America we are like applauded if you are a well-rounded student. What does that mean, right? Like we don't want to be like in this society, we don't really want to be well-rounded. I realized, but I was well-rounded, and hence I didn't know what I wanted to do because I was too rounded. I can do anything kind of person, right? So I actually was very comforted by the idea of general position. I'm like, I thought I was a generalist when I first started working. I'm the opposite of a generalist, and I do not enjoy being a generalist. I like being specialized, and I think that's what we should all kind of aim for, right? But
I mean, you can be a general person, and then kind of like from that you start to learn, and then you become sharper.
But you don't want to be super general like forever.
Right, you want to be sharp.
Yeah, you want to be a sharp ass, pencil.
Yeah.
Right? So yeah, but I was very comforted by the idea of general position.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, because I was like, I don't really know what I want to do, but what I was looking at is like what kind of people I worked with.
Right. Yeah.
Like that's what I was like really focused on when I was like job hunting, because I thought the people will allow you to get to the next step, right? And so I was like looking at the people, and since I also had the choice of continuing college or like graduating a year early and then like working for a company. So I just told myself, if I find the right people, the right group of people, and the right company that I can like be myself at, then like I will graduate early and then start working. And then I like luckily found that, but I was looking at the people more so than like what I could do. I don't know if that is the right way to like find your first job. But for me, like since I had no idea what I wanted to do, like that was like the only like North Star for me. I was like, oh, right person, like right group of people, where I'm not trying so hard to be so good. Because when you're job hunting, oh my God, like you're trying so hard to be so...
Yeah.
Like
you try so hard to be something that you're not.
Yeah. And that made me so uncomfortable because like I remember like I was interviewing for a position, and I was like so not myself that the people interviewing me, they were not themselves either. I saw they were being uncomfortable being themselves. And it was such a fake conversation, and I was so turned off by that. But then I realized like I need to just be myself, or like not try so hard, because once you're trying so hard, and even if you get that job, like you have to try really hard after that too, which is exhausting, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't you think so?
Yeah. But I feel like most people, including myself, like try so hard to get that position.
Yeah.
It comes from like some kind of like desperation.
Yeah. No, seriously. And I think like being desperate is so bad. Even in relationships, guys, right? We don't want to be desperate for a guy, like for us, like guys, like we don't want to be desperate for that one person.
Yeah.
Because then they will go away, they will, they will like leave.
Yeah, because once they realize that you're not that person,
Yeah.
they're like, what?
They're like, see ya later. Yeah.
So we want to be as genuine as possible, but that also means that you have to be honest.
Yeah, and I think like, so being desperate is like super bad if you're like when you're job hunting, but we are so desperate to get that position, right? What helped me was like even though they're interviewing you, but you're also interviewing them, right? They're kind of like judging you,
right?
But you have to be the person to judge them, right? It's like, what can you give me?
Yeah,
like what can this company give me? Yeah, kind of thing. So
like I always look at the interviewer's eyes.
Yeah, and then if you see joy in their eyes.
Yeah. No, literally that's how I like chose my last company. Like I was like in between two companies. And one company, their eyes looked like a dead fish.
Oh gosh.
So then I was like, oh no.
Oh no.
And then I didn't go to that one.
That's good. Yeah, that's really good. For me, so the company that I actually got into, they really liked me for who I was. For Japanese companies, you have to like put a picture of yourself, like an actual like a nice picture of yourself.
You don't have to do that anymore.
You don't, but I had to, and I didn't know what that was. They're like, supposed to like put a picture here, so I was like, okay, like I literally put a selfie. And a cute one that I took by myself in my bedroom, with a like photo app.
That's so funny. Like expressing yourself.
And they liked it, and I was like, oh my god! I told like my final interview guy, he was the chairperson of that big, humongous company, and I was like, sorry, I think like the picture has gone wrong. And then he looked at it and he was like, oh, you look cute. And I was like, thank you. And then after that, he invited me to like their company dinner and stuff, and we had a good time. But yeah.
That's funny.
I was being myself and they liked it.
Remember, I think you applied for Line as well. And then one of like the not homework prompt. But prompt was, please write like a message. Do you remember?
No. And I said like, oh, I got a line from my mom.
Yeah, that one.
Oh yeah,
that one.
How do you remember?
I remember.
Yuka remembers everything.
It was so funny. I thought that was so funny.
Yeah. So like, I applied for Line, that like the app. Yeah, and they're like, it's just imagine. No, it was like, imagine like you're using Line or something. Yeah. And then I was like, oh, gotta go. One of my lines is like, gotta go. I got a Line message from my mom. See ya.
It was probably like for marketing.
I did not get into that company.
That's so funny.
One time I was interviewing for one of the big 4 consulting companies. It starts with a D. They'll know. You guys will know. But it was like they asked me if I wanted to speak in English or Japanese in the
Oh no.
Yeah, in the interview, and I was like, yeah, English. You're not supposed to say that in the consulting companies, or like
you're not.
If they ask you, and if you're bilingual and if you're Japanese, if they ask you if you want to speak in English or Japanese, you have to say Japanese is fine, and then you have to do it in Japanese, because then that'll like let them know that you can speak Japanese. Because if you're a bilingual, right, so-called bilingual living in the States, it's not very deemed special if you can speak English well, right? Because it's a given, right? It's like, of course you were raised in the States, you can speak English well. You have to show them that you can actually speak Japanese,
right?
And I was trapped. I like fell for that trap, and I said English is fine.
How would you know though?
I wouldn't know, and I literally fell through that trap. And the whole interview was in English, but then at the same time, I couldn't understand
No, I don't think that's even a thing. I think it's like just like you just couldn't understand their broken English, right?
It wasn't even broken. It was just like how with the word choice and stuff. And also the question was hard. Everything just overlapped, and I was like stuck in that interview, and I was like, I don't know. It was like one of those consulting questions. It's like, if there's a penny and like how many pennies would you need to fill up Tokyo Dome or something? It's like, I don't know. Like, I've never been there.
Yeah.
It's so hard, but yeah. That's
interesting.
Yeah, that was like
I hate those kinds of like questions.
I know, the consulting questions.
Those are funny stories.
Yeah, those are funny stories of like, oh, and then I tell you, I was so tired during this like one interview. So we both went to like Boston Consulting. Boston Career Forum. Yeah. And it was like in Boston, there's a lot of Japanese companies there. And you're interviewing, if you get interviews, like you're interviewing like mostly all day. I think, should we just like tell everything?
Yeah.
I think it's kind of interesting. I interviewed so this like one person told me, Misa, you be so good at Japan tobacco. Like, I'm so sorry if you like work there. I'm so sorry, but like some person told me like JT like is so perfect for you. There's a lot of like bilingual people there. Like the culture is so nice. You don't have to work so hard. Everyone's very chill because everyone buys, tobacco and stuff. I was a public health major, right?
Yeah.
I cared for people's health.
I stood by their health.
I stood by people's health. And when they asked me in the interview, so to be honest, like, what do you think about tobaccos? And I was like, I think they're horrible. I didn't get the job. I didn't get it.
Is that the one line you shared?
Yeah, yeah.
You know their mission is to like create a smokeless like community?
Really?
Yeah, that's their mission.
Oh.
So
but it's Japan tobacco, so I thought they sold tobaccos.
Yeah, but their mission is to like even Philip Morris, their mission is to create a smokeless world. So they have like it's not
e-cig now.
Yeah,
e-cigs
now.
Oh, I didn't know that. But I just told them like I don't think they're good for you. It's bad for the lungs. So I told them. And then I didn't get the job. Yeah. Another story that
Did you fall asleep in the other one?
The other one, yeah, I almost fell. I was so tired. This one, like, interview. And it was like a health insurance kind of.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Okay.
And super bored to death by just the name of it. But then since, like, my mindset...
For Misa. Super bored to death for Misa.
For Misa. I think it was like one of the last few interviews that I had, and I was like super tired. And the first interview session, it was the CEO that I was talking to. It was the CEO.
Wow,
I was
you like
talking
jumped to the CEO.
I jumped to the CEO. I think it was because it was a startup.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then we were looking like he was like showing me the pamphlet. And then in the pamphlet, the guy in front of me is in it, and I was like, oh. Oh! I was like, you're in the pamphlet. It says, and I didn't know that like he was the CEO, right? And it said CEO, and I was like, oh, freak, you're the CEO. And then he's like, yeah, that's me. So awkward. I didn't do my homework, right? I don't know who this guy was in front of me. He's a big deal. He's a big shot. And then he starts like asking me about public health and stuff. To be honest, I wasn't really into public health. I didn't really know much about it, even though I studied it. I slept through a lot of classes. So I was like, I only talked about what I knew about. I actually don't remember what I said because I think I was half asleep. when I was talking. Literally, I was like half asleep. And so, okay, thank goodness I went on to the next interview. Next, I talked to this.
To the next interview?
Next, I talked to the CFO guy. Did I tell you this?
No.
And then, like, when he smiles, all I could see is, like, the gap in his teeth. And I was like...
that's where it came from?
Yeah, no, I was so distracted. ENFPs, I understand you. Like, I was so distracted throughout the whole thing. I could only look at that. Not, like, I'm not being so... Like, I don't want to be so rude about it, but it just happened. It just happened.
How big was the gap?
It was a pretty big gap, Yuka.
Really? Really?
Yeah.
Like this?
Yeah, it was like pretty big. So I was like, wow. Never seen such a gap, you know?
Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
Yeah, and then I didn't get the job.
Of course.
Yeah, so like I had like that experience.
Yeah, you know what? I feel like you and I both only got into one company.
Yeah. I applied to like 9 companies.
So therefore, there's a reason why you only get into one company.
Yeah, because there's only one thing for you. Yeah,
No.
like you're meant to, like, for the job that you get, the position that you get is like meant for you.
Right.
Especially if it's your first job, right? They kind of know if you're not shining, they'll know, right?
Right.
And you only shine if you're yourself, right?
Right.
And so I just thought, like, whatever I don't get into, like, I just don't have maybe the unseen connection with them.
Right.
Right. And then for the companies that you get into, like, you have some connection, and there might be people that you need to meet, or like there might be like stuff you need to learn, you know, like that can take you to the next step. Because, like, you know, like the first job isn't going to be your job forever.
Right.
Which I thought it was going to be forever, because people say that it's like, oh, it's, you know,
You
forever.
worked there for 40 years.
But it's not really, and you can quit after 1-2 years,
Yeah,
few months, it's fine. There's like a taboo with that, but it's fine. And having that like that very lighthearted perspective into your job is so important, I think, right? Not taking it so seriously is good. It's good.
Yeah,
It's
you
just
tell me that.
Yeah, it's just work. Right? And so, like, not taking it so seriously, learning whenever, like, you need to. Because that's the only time you can, like, actually learn things, like, through people and, like, through the work that you do. It's good.
Right.
You know? So, like, I always tell myself, it's like, there's whatever you do, there's always, like, a meaning. Yeah, you're there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we just have to, like, make the most of it. But you can always leave whenever you want to.
Right.
So, like, there was a big lesson during my shirikatsu. So, like, for Berkeley, like, a lot of companies came to my college to, like, you know, get the bilingual people. And I think I wanted to go to this, like, interview for cyber agent. But I was, like, not so motivated. I was like, okay, what is this gonna company give me? Blah, blah, blah. And then, so I decided not to go. But then I kind of felt weird not going. And so I called Dad, and I was like, so I was gonna, you know, go to this interview for cyber agent, but I don't think I'm gonna go. And then Dad's like, well, Misa, like, you won't know all these companies until you actually go. And this is, like, a good time when you are job hunting, like, to, you know, like, learn about all these companies that are helping the economy move forward. Right?
Wow.
And I was like, wow, that's really big.
True.
That's actually true. So, like, this is just, like, a time for you to learn. Like, he said, like, the companies actually don't really care if you don't go to the interviews or not. Like, you're the only one who's going to benefit.
Right.
By going, right?
Right.
So that's why I was like, okay, right. And then I went. And then I, like, learned about the company, and I was like, oh, that's really cool. And so like that's the mindset I kind of like held
Mhm.
for the rest of my job hunting like season, because I was like, right, I'm just learning about
Right.
it, right? And so like after that I went to like Otsuka Seiyaku.
What's that?
It's like a pharmaceutical company.
Mm.
I know. And then they asked me in the interview, it was like a 3-person interview, and they asked me in the interview, like, what would you define yourself if you're a vegetable?
Mm.
And I was like, oh, easy. I was like, I'm a kabocha. I was like,
Why?
I grow wherever I'm seated.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, like, mom used to always, like, have kabochas, like, seeds, and, like, they would grow everywhere in the garden after it rains. I'm like that.
Mm-hmm.
I told
What
them.
they say.
And they're like, oh.
I wonder what they were
I
expecting.
didn't get the job. But to just, like, end this conversation, I think, like, for, like, finding the first job and starting your first job is very life-changing, right?
Yeah.
And everything is meant to be, seriously, right?
Mhm.
Everything is meant to be.
You have to make the choice right.
Yeah.
And so
And I don't regret like working for a Japanese company as my first job. It did get me confused, like a lot, and that's why I'm here.
right.
But
I think we often take things for granted when we're working.
yeah,
You know, we're like, oh, this job sucks.
yeah.
And, like, don't really see like our growth.
yeah,
Like, we don't put attention to our growth, but if you step back, you're like growing. So
yeah. That's true.
it's
You
like-
grow a lot.
it's actually like if you look back, you're like, oh yeah, like there's
You were like forced into that environment, and you were
Mhm.
forced to do something which allows you to grow, because sometimes if you're alone you can't really force yourself, right? But external factors can force yourself
Yeah.
to grow,
So every opportunity is a great opportunity
right?
if you take it positively.
Right. So yeah, if you are starting a new job, if you're starting something, like we're all in this together. I'm not gonna say good luck, because like we're all literally in this together. So yeah, like comment if you're starting something new.
Yes.
New. All right. Well, thanks for like tuning in again tonight. It was so fun talking to you guys, right, Yuka?
Yes.
We're always having always fun. So yeah, so I hope you guys are having a great day.
And a great life.
I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye. See you.